In today's video, we're going to talk about how you can become the boss of social media instead of it bossing you around, so that you can be free, a free human being, and not be a slave to social media anymore. Let's get into it. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Andrew Love, and here at Whole Goals, it is my job to help you liberate your mind, heart, body, and soul in order to create harmony so that you can enjoy every facet of your life. And in today's video, I really want to talk about social media because I help people a lot with a lot of different stuff, but one of the biggest, like Achilles heel issues, like the problem that's destroying a lot of people's lives is social media. It's this thing that torments people. It's like they want to get away from it, but they keep on ending back in it, like an abusive relationship. Okay, so an abusive relationship is like, I'm gonna leave you. It's like, good luck, you're worthless, you're nothing without me. And then the person leaves and then they end up coming back. We've seen it time and again in really toxic, relationships with people, but we're involved in this, definitely, because how many times have you thrown down your phone and said, I just wasted so much time, or I feel like crap, and yet you go right back, you log right back in, maybe a couple minutes later. Definitely the next day. When was the last time you went for a stretch where you didn't need to check your feed at all? That's the point. We don't even think at this point that it's an option to break free from this matrix of social media, but I want to let you know that it's possible. And by it, I mean this is you, okay? And I'm going to give you some tips today on how you can really dominate social media instead of being dominated by it. So the first thing is this. This is you and me. It's you and it's me. It's you and I. I'm gonna use proper grammar. This video is sponsored by my elementary school English teachers. I hope I do you proud. So this is us. Let's say we're in bed. It all starts here. This is where our day starts, unless you sleep on a hammock, in which case your back probably hurts, but most of us sleep on a bed, okay? And the issue here is this. You see this person's eyes, they're asleep. Those are dead eyes, in cartoons, but let's just say they're asleep. Their phone is usually within a very close proximity. So you would know better than I where your phone is, because studies have shown that we actually are designing our brains. We curate our brains. They are manipulated by our thoughts and our feelings. What we view to be important is what our brains reserve bandwidth for, okay? And most of us are starting to create space in our brains to remember where our phones are at all times. Do you know where your phone is right now? Exactly. And so most of us keep our phone, here's our little phone, hi little guy, and it's on a table right next to our bed for most of us. It's very close to us, and it's vibrating, or it's pinging, it's going ping, 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 all through the night, or maybe it's on vibrate. And so as soon as we wake up, I'm awake, we reach for our phone. Disaster. Problem number one, do not do this, okay? You don't want to start your day remembering all the emotions that you had yesterday and the day before that, and that you are letting your phone tell you what to think and how to feel from the get-go. So your day is much more likely to end up exactly like all the days before it, because you're telling yourself through your eyes, through your ears, through your feelings, through your emotions, and then eventually, physiologically it manifests. You just have this feeling like, you compare yourself to other people, you look how cool these people are, and you're starting your day as a slave, because as soon as you pull out your phone, let me get my phone. See, my phone is pretty close, right? But it's off, don't worry. As soon as you pull out your phone in the morning, you unconsciously are led astray. This is the problem, okay? Number one is consciously. Conscious. We want to be conscious of when we pull out our phones. You don't ever want to be in a situation where you unconsciously pull out your phone and just wind up on social media, wind up in all these dark places online. And every place where you don't choose to be is a dark place. It's exactly like when you drive around a city, there's good neighborhoods and there's bad neighborhoods. areas, and there's certain neighborhoods that you don't want to be in at night. And that's exactly what the internet is. There's so many parts of it that are pretty much guaranteed to make you feel crappy, to make you judge other people, to be afraid, to feel like you're not enough, to say, oh, I need this, I need to buy this thing, because you're absolutely being led down this tunnel towards feeling unworthiness if you're unconsciously going on your phone. So that's the first thing, is you want to be conscious about when you go on your phone and what you do on your phone. And you don't do that when it's the first thing out of bed. First thing out of bed should be deciding what kind of day you're gonna have. I would recommend first thing you do out of bed, meditate. Then go have a glass of water, then go do stuff. But first thing is you meditate, or you pray, you do your kind of like, you get internal and you start to feel the day. You start to experience all these good things, and you're starting your day from a high point. Because even if you have a rough day, you can get back to your high point. But if you start in zoned out land, then that's where you're gonna wind back in. It's a very low place to go. Spiritually, it's a very low place. Vibrationally, as they say, it's a very low vibration, because there's all you see is separation. You're seeing separation between you and the person you want to be, you and all these other people. It doesn't unite people. Social media doesn't unite us. It divides us. That's why our world is so incredibly divided now more than ever, thanks to social media. So you do not want to plug into your phone. I know a guy, and he was really struggling with porn especially, and he was like, I don't want to watch porn anymore. And that's what I do. I've been doing that for the past 5 years. I help people break free from porn. And this guy noticed exactly his pattern, and he would take his phone into his room, he'd put it somewhere else in his room, but eventually he'd always go towards it. He'd be trying to go to bed, I can't go to sleep, so he'd eventually just pick up his phone, and then he'd go to Reddit, then Reddit would lead to memes, then memes to porn. It was like every single time. So you know what he decided to do? Don't let his phone in his room. So let's say this is your room. This is your room. This is your bed, your desk, this is your room. Outside here in his kitchen, there's a countertop and let's say a fridge. He made a little bed for his phone, and he would put his phone here in its bed. His phone had a bedtime. Now, whether you're struggling with porn or not is irrelevant here. It's if you struggle with your phone, and all of us do, we're all somewhat addicted, if not majorly addicted to our phones. So you need to create separation. We are not robots. We're not bionic, okay? We need to separate ourselves from our phone to be human, to have our human moments, and also to use technology, our phones, our computers, or whatever, but when we choose. So to have a place outside of your room for your phone is essential. And then you can set your alarm clock. And this is the thing, is a lot of people are like, oh, but my phone is my alarm clock. And like, yeah, okay. Go to Walmart, go to Douche R Us, go to Target, wherever you get your stuff, your big box store, get an alarm clock. There's digital alarm clocks that serve the same function, under 10 bucks, Amazon, whatever. Buy them wherever you get your stuff, put it right here, and wake up when you want, and then you create how you want to live your day by meditating, blah, blah, blah. So that's the first thing, is conscious. But then throughout the day, in order to stay conscious, here's what you need to understand. You and I have been programmed to be so heavily addicted to our phone that most of the time our phones just wind up in our hand, and we just wind up looking at our phones, and then we're totally sucked in. We do this when we're on elevators. We do this when we get to restaurants before our friends and we don't know how to, we feel weird because we don't, oh, there's all these people, I don't know any of them. And so we pull out our phones. We do this on the subway, on the bus. We do this, even a lot of people, if they're at a red light for 5 seconds, they start reaching for their phone because they need to check on who's done what in the past 5 seconds. So you don't ever want to unconsciously wind up online, whether it's in the morning or throughout the day. So schedule time, Here's a clock, here's one hand, the other hand, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, blah, blah. Schedule time. How many times a day do you want to go online? To check emails, to go on social media, choose. Don't stay online for any longer than you need to be. This is a major issue, okay? A lot of us waste a huge amount of time and a huge amount of subsequent emotion because we're lost. We're lost. When you are lost, when you've lost your car in a giant parking lot after some sporting event or musical event, it's very stressful, especially if it goes on for too long. Like, okay, 20 minutes, not so bad. 40 minutes, you're like, oh my God. 50 minutes, 60 minutes, an hour and a half, you start to freak out. You're like, well, I got towed. You start freaking out, right? Same thing online. Why am I here? What am I doing here? If you don't know going into like your phone or your computer ahead of time, chances are you're gonna be led down this crazy path, and you don't want to go there. You're gonna feel the same emotions as losing something important, because you're losing time, you're losing energy, you're losing momentum in your life. So the next thing is this, okay? We have us. This is you and me, right? This is us. And this is our avatar. That's supposed to say avatar. It's really sloppy because I don't normally write with these things, but let's just say it says avatar because that's what I think it says. Now here's the issue. There's 2 points that I really want to make with this. One is you and your avatar should be congruent. They should be one and the same. The way that you act in fantasy land, in online world, on social media, on wherever you are online, should be the same as the type of person that you want to be in life. That you're working towards congruency. It's called integrity. If you have some alter ego online, it's because you're living in some fantasy land and you're trying to escape reality, and you get your kicks off of, being a troll or whatever the case may be. This is, unless it's for security reasons, whatever. But if most people, they're creating this, they act online in a way that would be abhorrent in real life. The way that you comment on people's, in Twitter, people get into all these spats. Like, you would never live like that throughout the day. Otherwise, you would die at a young age from stress and anxiety. So you want to, first of all, make sure that your avatar and the real you is one in the same. The second thing is, it's much better to invest in the real version of you, because there's one thing that we're born for, and that's connection to our true self, connection to God, the divine, connection to other people. When we are living on all cylinders, it means that we're really feeling connected. Life is very vibrant and exciting. But when it's not, when we are having a difficult time of life, it's very easy to start focusing on our avatar, in the person that we want to be online, and you go to escape reality in this fantasy. And I know a lot of new agey folk are gonna say, man, we're all just living in a matrix anyway, so this is a matrix and this is a double matrix and blah blah. I get that, yeah, sure, whatever. I understand that there's more to us than this meat, that there's energy, blah blah blah. Let's talk about that another time. This is about, if you have a hand and you can see it, then that's what I'm talking about. This reality is so much more important, and that's where all the joy and satisfaction is, but it's also where a lot of the complication is. People are complicated sometimes. Sometimes you're in a relationship with somebody and you offend them, and then you guys get into an argument and then you don't talk for a while. So it's easier when you're struggling with life to want to escape into this world, but there's no lasting joy here. This is all manufactured. It's all man-made. All the real joys of life are participating in this world that was created by something other than us. Whether we're all in a simulation, or this is some metaverse, or there's a God and we're God's children, or however you paint this picture, it's really important that whoever created that made this, and there's laws and there's rules, there's, basic physical laws, and there's, all sorts of, there's emotional laws, there's energetic laws, there's all sorts of stuff that we can participate in, but it's more complex and more difficult, and it requires effort. Whereas this is easy, because you can create your own worlds, you can create your own simulated experience here, but none of the rewards can be experienced in full here. They're all here. So try to have these be congruent, but try to focus much more of your attention here. When you get good at this loses its power. It's just kind of like child's play. If I am really fulfilled in my relationships, I don't care what people think about me online. I just don't. But when I'm struggling with real people, that's when I want to seek validation online. So if your intent is to have harmony in your life, it's really important to have harmony here on your online life and your real life, and that also your emphasis is more on having a great life rather than a pretend online life. So there's a lot more that I could get into, but I really wanted to emphasize those points that be conscious whenever you're gonna go online. Try to set a schedule. How long am I gonna be online? Where am I gonna go online? Where am I not gonna go online? And also that you make sure that your online life is serving your real life. When your life is enhanced by your online life, that's when you have a good dynamic with your avatar you and the real you. If it's depleting your energy, if it's taking resources to maintain this fake life, then obviously it's not working out. When you hold the keys to all the knowledge in the world, which is on the internet, and you use it for the sake of benefiting your real physical, mental, spiritual self, then you become the master. You pick and choose when you use this thing, and it's only used to enhance your life. That's when you start to live an augmented reality with your phone. It's like it enhances your life. It lifts you up. It makes you a better person. But what most people are doing, and what you're probably doing as well, and what we've all dabbled with at some point in time in our life, is that when our life starts to falter, we seek comfort in this thing, and we start to rely on it to create joy for us instead of us creating joy by ourselves, and then we become its slave, and then it dictates how we should think and how we should feel, and then we are subservient to this thing that was meant to be our servant, and that's when we let AI dictate our life. And so this is a complete willing experiment. If you want to take your life back and you want to own your thoughts and you want to own your emotions, then be very intentional with how you use your online life. If you want to forever be a slave to what he's saying, she's saying online, whatever, then do whatever you want. That's up to you. I hope this was helpful. As always, if you have any comments, leave them down below. If you have any hilarious things to say, email them to me. It's very nice talking to you, and I'll see you in the next one.